Hi everyone. So welcome to the first part of decoding diagnosis, and today's condition that we're going to discuss is jumper's knee. Clinical term for jumper's knee is patellar tendinopathy. And what is that? Patella is your kneecap and the tendon of quadriceps or your front thigh muscles, which goes all the way to your shin bone, right? So the tendon which arises from your kneecap to the shin bone, that is the patellar tendon. And tendinopathy is a term that I'm using because a lot of people call it tendinitis, which indicates that there might be inflammation of the tendon. Some call it tendinosis, which indicates that there might be degenerative changes. Well, actually, jumper's knee has a combination of both because it is an overuse repetitive stress injury, right? So there is a component of inflammation, but along with that, there is also a component of overuse degenerative changes. So who is more vulnerable to get jumper's knee? Obviously, individuals who require jumping on a regular basis. So athletes or sports individuals who are required to do jumping activities such as volleyball players, basketball players, or individuals who have recently started these exercises, right, which require a lot of jumping activities. Now I have a problem with the term jumper's knee. The reason being that the injury doesn't occur when you're taking off for the jump, but it actually occurs when you're landing back, right? So ideally it should be called as lander's knee rather than jumper's knee. Now, what can you do physiotherapy wise to either prevent the injury, or if you already have jumper's knee, then how can you progress with rehabilitation of that? Now, the risk factors that we identified, like one of them being flexibility issues, right? So stretching of quadriceps and hamstrings is important. But does passive stretching really help? Not really. If you haven't checked out my video on active hamstring stretch, you need to do that now, right? Active stretching has way more benefits than passive stretching. Okay. The other thing that you need to focus on is strengthening of quadriceps is really important, especially in weight bearing position. If you're going to just lie down and keep working on your quadriceps, it's not going to help. The simple reason being that in weight bearing position, that is in standing or in kneeling, in these positions, if you're working on your quadriceps, then you are imposing your body weight along with the resistances that you're using, whether it might be in high velocity machines in the gym like leg press, or whether you're using any resistance bands, whether you're using dumbbells to increase your body weight while doing squats, right? The exercises that you're doing for stressing your quadriceps and getting them stronger, the exercises need to be in weight bearing position, in standing, kneeling. These are the positions. Another important myth that I want to break is a lot of people say that when I'm doing squats, I'm getting pain. You need to distinguish what kind of pain it is. If it is a sharp shooting pain, yes, then it is a matter of concern. But if it is that muscle ache which you should be getting while during your squats, right, then it is okay, right? You need to bear that pain. Some pain is good pain, but not the sharp shooting one. You should be able to differentiate what kind of pain you're getting while doing your eccentric strengthening exercises. Another important aspect of physiotherapy rehabilitation in jumper's knee is movement retraining and returning back to your previous activities, right? So training how to jump and especially learning the proper landing strategies is essential in rehabilitation program if you want to get back to your sports. So don't ignore if you don't get pain anymore while jumping. You need to look at your technique, you need to work on your strategy, you need to work on strengthening and continued strengthening for at least 6 weeks to 12 weeks post the injury has happened. So the rehabilitation program for the patellar tendinopathy would last somewhere between 3 months to even 6 months if you are going back to a contact sports. So let me just sum up whatever we discussed today. So jumper's knee or patellar tendinopathy basically involves inflammatory and degenerative changes of the patellar tendon due to repeated overuse stress, mainly from jumping activities. That's why athletes who are required to participate in sports such as volleyball or basketball are at higher risk of developing them, right? Usually the presentation of the symptoms are that they have pain in the front of the knee when they are doing the jumping activities, right? Now, the mainstay of physiotherapy treatment lies in allowing the joint to heal itself, but at the same time not compromising on the strength part. Okay, so limited flexibility of quadriceps and hamstrings needs to be addressed. Strengthening the hamstrings and quads is essential, and strengthening in weight bearing position is something that needs to be done. Along with that, towards the later rehabilitation phase, retraining of the movement and landing strategies is important to get back to your sport. Okay, so that's it for today, and if you have any further queries regarding this, then let me know, and I will be soon uploading a video on certain exercises which I mentioned, strengthening in weight bearing position for patellar tendinopathy. So stay tuned for that, and if you have any other queries, do leave them in the comments section. If you want me to take up any other topics of your choice, do DM me about them. Alright, stay healthy, stay fit.